galaxy, man, and by my sideness,
Okay.
that I think that maybe people felt like Jay-Z was doing. Now, I understood Jay-Z's project.
I love 444.
Yeah, me too.
That was a great record.
How do you feel about that statement?
I mean, you know, I appreciate anybody giving feedback on my music and my art. You know what I mean? So I get what he was saying, probably in terms of the messaging of some of the records, just like the ownership themes, and you know, kind of like Jay kind of spoke to the
business.
Yeah, that too. I was gonna say Jay kind of spoke to the traditions of like ignorance a little bit in our culture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like whatever our traditions are, the things that actually do work against us. So I think that my take on it from being from gang culture, I kind of spoke to the traditions that are working against us, you know what I mean? So I could see why he would get that parallel, you know what I mean? I saw somebody else on Twitter say something like that too. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean? I can't remember exactly who, but somebody else had made that comparison.
Yeah.
But you know, man, you know, you can't walk in the shoes of greatness. You gotta do your own thing. But I take all of that as a compliment, though.
Dedication played a bunch of times for me this last 4 or 5 days that I've been listening to your project. I do a lot of working out. To me, it's the only time I really get to really give someone the attention that they deserve. Musically.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of music is out. There's so many projects.
Yeah.
Dedication plays a lot for me.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, you were so ahead of the game when it comes to the fact that you, like the downloading and how much you were charging for your albums, you really were ahead of the game so long ago.
Right.
What was it that you saw that everyone else caught on to late?
I think I was in an untraditional space just because I wasn't in a major label system. I didn't have, you know, the way businesses handle as usual, as a pressure on my releases. So I always had to just think, what can I do to stand out? Because like you said, it's so saturated, so many releases. You could drop something Tuesday, they forget about you by Sunday.
Right.
So I just wanted to be distinguished in the obviously in the music, but then also in the marketing and the way we introduce it to the public. So I don't know if I was ahead of the game or if I just was in survival mode and trying to make sure that, you know, my releases were recognized, because I knew we didn't have millions of dollars in marketing to give it the biggest platform. So we had to be guerrillas with how we made people talk about it. And I think by, you know, the $100 price tag, the Proud to Pay campaign, just the way we delivered it, it became something to talk about. And then they looked into it, and hopefully the music stood up to the price tag and to the marketing, you know what I mean?
I think some of the price tags, speaking of price tags that you bring up, it was funny because you had at one point in time, how much were you charging when you did that back in the day? You was charging what? Was it $60 an hour? $100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And back then I was like, yo, that alone was marketing idea.
100%.
That alone was marketing. I was like, yo, nobody else charging that much for a project.
Right.
I was even thinking about doing something like that. I was like, that alone got people to look at you and be like, well, why is he doing it that way?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you know, my goal really was, I wasn't necessarily charging $100 for the music. I was charging $100 for a limited hard copy.
Right.
Because again, we was in a mixtape space at that time, and everything was going digital. Everything was on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal.
Right.
The mixtape sites, Hot New Hip Hop, all of that, Dat Piff. So we ain't really get from classic mixtapes. I think about like Cushion OJ from Wiz, or Rich Forever from Raw. So like So Far Gone from Drake. Even though they did distribute that later, you know, them classics.
Yeah.
You kind of want to have them. Meek Mill, Dream Chasers 1 and 2.
That was all online stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So after it's over, the online wave died down. I know that people wanted them hard copies. So when I looked at what I wanted to do with Crenshaw, it wasn't an album, but it was something I felt was dope work, and that was gonna mark time. So I just wanted to be able to sell them like 1,000 units, hard copies. I'm gonna sign them, number them, so they have individual value, and I'm gonna charge $100 for them. You know.
In your project, man, one of your songs, you talked about Dr. Sabi. I'm a fan of that because I got introduced by Dr. Sabi when I was an intern.
Right.
When I was 17, first getting into the game in Atlanta, by the Lopez family, Reina Lopez, Left Eye sister.
Yeah, she was out there at the compound.
Yeah, I've been knowing that family. When I was an intern, they brought me in. It's like, this is how you do this for your hair. This is how you know. And they brought me into that.
Right.
And I had this thing going on because when I got the chef today, we was texting back and forth like, yo, he's a fan of Dr. Sabi, so just do your food off of that.
Yeah.
And then yesterday they was like, nah, they got all kinds of food here. Just get whatever he wants. And I was like, well, I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
So, are you big into the whole eating habits of Dr. Sabi, or is it just kind of like when you cleanse when you need to?
Well, nah. I just studied him.
Right.
Once I got hip to what he was famous for doing, and I just listened to him talk and read his books and his papers, and I became a believer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Just based on what he was saying. My own intelligence kicked in. This is true. What he's saying is not a sales pitch. None of that. He's telling the truth. His formula, it made perfect sense. I can explain it to somebody now after watching him because it's not no left field science. It's real simple if you really think about what he's saying.
Yeah.
So I tried. I started taking the products.
It worked.
For sure.
Immediately.
I was on tour. I you get tired, bro, doing shows and shows.
Shaking hands.
12 hours on the bus every day, eating out the gas station. So, I started taking the products, and then I cut dairy out of my diet completely. Yeah. That was one of the things he swear by. I ain't never went vegan, like no meat, and that's something he stresses, like a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
But, I'm taking steps toward it. You know what I'm saying?
I was gun-ho at one point in time because I always had Reina by my side, so she was always like, ET, make sure, you know what I mean? So so now I deal with Miss Manana, because Miss Manana trained underneath him like years ago.
Yeah.
So that's who I deal with now, and she's out of Belize and Honduras, so that's who I get my stuff out from her now.
Yeah.
But you also said that, then you turned around and you talked about Rick Ross is teaching wealth in the verse.
Right.
So when I heard that, you respect him, I'm like, my question to you is, what did you learn from Ross then, since he has been teaching people wealth? Because he was signed to a major at one point. They kind of dumped him to the side because they figured he was done, and he just got bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the business interior of his own artist situation as when he was doing his Def Jam thing, and I know he went to Epic recently, but just in terms of what he represent, him saying buy back the block, you know what I mean? Him being somebody that I see how he dealt with artists, how he put on, everybody else MMG, and a lot of them dudes ended up becoming very successful, you know what I mean? And Ross rode with him the whole way. Even combos we done had, you know what I'm saying? I just respect with dude. I feel like you gotta embrace your position, you know what I mean, and not shy away from it. You a leader, people following you, so you gotta lead people to the lake and to success, because people gonna follow you regardless, whether you embrace it or not. So I think Ross, one of the individuals from his era. Jay was a great example.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Ross came from a different era. And I think, the message that he put out there is something that it's like you can live by that message and win. You know what I mean?
With so much competition on the West Coast, I think people forget that the state of California almost has 40 million people in one state. The competition level is at a higher rate just off of mass of people.
Right.
What separates you from the rest of the mass musically?
I tell a unique story based on where I grew up, and this was my theory coming into the whole rap game. I was like, cause I used to get a lot of backlash because I was being vocal about the specifics of my neighborhood and where I come from specifically. I didn't just say LA, I said rolling 60s. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so they used to like, you can't rap about that hustle. You can't go that deep into your affiliations because that's like a bad word. Everywhere outside of this area, we got real enemies in LA that they hear that, they cutting the song off. But when I thought about it, I was like this, I'm from Crenshaw and Slauson. That area is, what they call the rolling 60s in LA. Mm-hmm. So that area is important to LA. LA is important to California. California is important to the country. United States is important to the world. So I always felt I could be global, keeping it 100, talking about the specifics of my area because we was important to LA. LA is important to California. California is important to United States. United States is important to the globe. So that was my theory, you feel me? And you gotta be delicate, like not to create the message of like, go get put on the gang, because Nip is speaking about his involvement at one time on his story, and Nip seemed like he did okay, so I could do what Nip did. You gotta be careful not to put that out there. But at the same time, my goal was to mobilize people that come from the similar culture I came from, and take them with me through the music. You know what I mean? And let them know that you can identify with me, because I really was in that situation in depth, in a real way.
Yeah.
So that's why it was important to be specific. You know what I mean? And so who I'm talking to, my core for real, is niggas that bang.
Yeah.
To start. That come from gang culture.
And go, this what you gotta do, this what I did.
Yeah, this the route that, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't no route. It wasn't no example. When I came up, I ain't really see one. You know, so I was just like, damn, you know, everybody I know, you know, it's blind leading the blind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's no disrespect to nobody, but it's like, where the breadcrumbs at? You know what I mean? That you could follow to like wiggling your way through this shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to do it first and then talk about it. Like, you know what I mean? Make them decisions. A lot of my mixtapes happen in between like gang wars.
Yeah.
Like I was recording during real high activity eras.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, a lot of the success took place in front of my whole community. And they know what happened on Thursday. And then they seen what happened next week on the music front. So they know like this went on simultaneously. Not in terms of me being involved in criminal shit, but just in terms of like it happening around us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
This project you got out right now, man, you have gotten more exposure to this particular project than I can actually remember any other project, and I mean nationwide.
Yeah.
The West, we already get that.
Yeah.
I'm from California, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm seeing the New York people asking questions, and I get the South because the South and the West Coast musically, to me, if you know your history of the hip-hop industry, we've always been musically tight.
I agree.
You know what I mean? You know, so that's never been an issue for me. But I start seeing the New Yorkers, and I was like, okay, they want Nipsey up here. They want to talk to him now. Philly, he doing shows. And
right.
Why do you think that this project has drummed up such nationwide, one, interest, and two, respect?
A lot of reasons, for real. I think that, number one, my intention was to make, you know, an elevated piece of music. So we took a lot of time to record it. We did more work on this project than I've ever done on any of my other projects. We handled it with more care. So I think a lot of that you seeing in the reaction. But then also, I got a team that's cranking right now. We did a partnership with Atlantic Records. And,
yes.
You know, before.
Hi, Cannon.
Yeah. What's up, Cannon? Shout out to Cannon. She in the building. Yeah, but before it was me, my brother, my god brother Adam, and my, you know, right-hand man Fats. And, you know, the team we built around that. And, you know, we had so much of a reach, but once we partnered with Atlantic, you know, they got East Coast reps, radio reps.
Right.
You know what I mean? They got East Coast retail people. They got down south reps. They got West Coast reps. They got a whole marketing team. They got, you know, it's a lot of resources.
It's a machine
that we can activate behind the release. So, you know, if the music was trash, we can't, all the machine in the world ain't gonna save it. You know, but
because people still have to like it.
They gotta embrace it. But when everything line up and it's great art, great music, focused team, resources, I think that's what we experiencing right now.
I feel like this project, when I listen to it, it's ran so smoothly. I mean, you got songs on there with YG, which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Kendrick, that record, and then was it Marsha? You got Marsha Ambrose on there?
Yeah, Marsha Ambrose.
How'd that go down?
Man, you know, that was a phone call. You know, we was just.
I ain't never met her, but I feel like she hood as shit, homie. I feel like she walks into the building and be like, and has one rolled up and like, well, what you want me to sing on? Like,
she just ain't, you know, she ain't got none of that like intimidation, like walking in a room full of street niggas or a room full of like, you know.
She's like, I'm here to work.
Yeah, like she ain't a stranger to that energy, and she was just, you know, she came to work and knocked it out.
Yeah.
Super professional, you know, super. What impressed me about her after the record, she came out at my show in LA, at the Palladium, and she sound just like she sound on that record on stage. That's not easy, especially for a singer.
Right.
She sound exactly the same, and I was just like, damn, you know, I appreciated just her skill set, you know, even more when I seen her live. But she You know, she been on a lot of classic rap albums, as well as doing her thing as an R&B artist, a writer. She's like a secret weapon for classic rap. You know what I mean? Like Dre gonna call Marsha. You know what I mean? Certain people that really know music, they gonna call Marsha when they need vocals, like writing. So I felt like, you know, it'd be dope to get her on my shit.
There are when I told my team of girls, I got girls called the Dirty Dolls.
Yeah.
And I don't really walk into a club with a bunch of dudes because it's not the most comfortable situation. So I've been known for many years of walking into a club with nothing but a bunch of ladies. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I was like, and Miss Cannon know. Yeah. And I said, you know, I'm getting dressed today, and I'm like, I gotta interview Nipsey. They lost their mind.
Oh yeah.
They lost their mind. One, they was like, oh, he's, you know, he fly and all this extra ish, you know what I mean, being what they are.
Yeah.
And then the second part was, of course, about your relationship stuff. So in their honor, homie, I have to ask this question to you about y'all relationship status. It's got nothing to do with me personally, but it's better to hear from the horse's mouth.
The disclaimer.
I'm just letting you know, bro. I got a disclaimer, bro, because I don't want to look like I'm the guy that cares.
Nah, it's
like,
all love.
I have to ask, bro.
Yeah, no, we solid, man. You know, this my line for everything. Players fuck up too, man. Every now and again. You know what I'm saying? But we good, man. We got a child, my son Cross. You know, she doing her thing in her own space as an artist and as an actress. But we super good. You know, we still together. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I mean,
listen,
fuck up every now and again.
Yeah, it's all good, bro. Like, hey, I'm not here to paint the picture of bad or good. I just wanted to hear from your mouth.
Nah, we solid.
Okay,
we A1.
So y'all hear that, ladies? Don't be bugging me about is Slim Lauren. I'm like, yo, man, I don't know what that man got going on. I care about his music.
Yeah.
I've been fighting in your music like the last 5 days, man, just training and stuff like that.
That's right.
Any last words you want to tell these people, man? Because the project is super solid from start to finish. I have not stopped listening to it.
That's what's up.
And every time I listen to it, I hear something different that I missed before. You know what I mean? Lyrically, dancing wise, fun wise, and everything. But any last words?
Man, really just all the focus on the album, Victory Lap. You know what I mean? Everybody that love music, that love, you know, hip hop, that just love just dope, great music. I think they can tap in and be, you know, inspired and entertained by the album. You know, stream it, download it, go buy it at the store, and get online and talk about it. You know what I mean? That's something that I get a return on my energy.
Yeah.
You know, just seeing the convos and seeing what people saying.
It's good to have a dissect section going on, so people can just like dissect it a little bit and put it up.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? So that's really it, man. Get the album, Victory Lap. You know, tap into it. If you love it, talk about it. If you hate it, talk about it. But you know what I mean? Just be vocal about what you get from it.